You're right guys, Shay here, Uneven Bounce, hope you guys are well. So Jofra Archer has been announced as the MVP for the IPL 2020. Absolutely fantastic for obviously us English and Jofra Archer fans. As you know, I'm a big fan of him. I've talked about him a lot on this channel and also on my Instagram page. If you're on Instagram, do please check me out, at Uneven Bounce. But anyway, really happy for him. Obviously, a lot's been made of his performances in this tournament. I did mention this. I did a pod with Cricket Connoisseur and 20 Yards podcast, Joe, and I was saying to him, obviously, the issue I had for Rajasthan Royals was that you've got these world-class players, Stephen Smith, Josh Buttler, Ben Stokes, and Jofra Archer, but can they carry the rest of the team? And whether those four players will be able to perform well enough to carry the other seven. But you know what? Jofra Archer did his damnedest to do that. He was really fantastic. I mean, he took 20 wickets in the 14 matches. I've got the stats in front of me here. We'll refer to him in a little bit. Obviously, he's been compared a lot to Kishore Rabada, who was absolutely fantastic. Rabada took 30 wickets in 17 matches. A higher average, I think it was 8. His economy rate was higher. If I actually look at it now, his economy was 8.34. Jofra Archer was 6.55. They both bowled in the power play, so very comparable, opening fast bowlers. For me, obviously, Jofra Archer, I say, is one of these skilled, talented bowler. And I feel like, there's some surrounding context of why he was given, obviously, the MVP accolade. There's been talk, obviously, about his kind of low order runs. He scored quite well, actually, especially in the early parts of the tournament. He held 5 catches as well. So he deserves, obviously, his all-round MVP award. But just taking his bowling, just literally compartmentalising the 3 facets of the game and look at his bowling, for me, he was very comparable with Rabada, if not better. Now, one of the main reasons for this, I would say that Rabada obviously had able support in the likes of Ankit Nokia. They did very well as well. In fact, actually, he was the 4th leading wicket taker with 22 wickets. At 23, a little bit higher than the other the bowls around him, at 8.39 economy, very similar to Rabada. But a strike rate of 16.33. 16.63. Very, very good tournament for him, considering he was a replacement, wasn't he, for Chris Woakes, who pulled out to come in. I'm sure that, to be fair, he probably performed better than Woakes would have. But that spell against Rajasthan, when he clocked 156 Ks, was it? And he bowled at Josh Buttler. I mean, it's fantastic to see. And a very, aggressive competitor. He's and I think he will do very well for South Africa, in years to come. So anyway, so obviously Rabada had Nokia as his kind of bowling partner. Then you had the likes of, Deshpande played a little bit, but he wasn't that effective. But then you had Mishra at the start of the tournament. Then you had Dubey was there as well. Then you obviously had Ravichandran Ashwin, as a world-class spin bowler, and has got a very, very good IPL pedigree as well behind him over the last 10 years. So he had a lot of able support around him. The likes of Marcus Stoinis was there. Sams is okay. Didn't perform that well with his ability, but you look at Rajasthan and the kind of support bowling attack that he had. With like Tatwatia and Gopal and these guys. Tyagi was okay, but he had nothing really to work with, and that's the thing. I mean, it can go both ways, can't it, really? When you have a bowling attack, if you look at a bowling attack, for example, Rajasthan, if you're the opposing coach and captain, and you look at the team, it's like, you know what, if we defend Archer, we can block him out, see him off, and obviously we attack the rest of the bowling. Stokes is there as well. He did okay, but he wasn't that great with the ball this time when he did come into the team. Tom Curran was there a lot, obviously, at the beginning before Stokes arrived. He wasn't that effective either. To be fair, Tom Curran. So, said Archer could do a little bit more support compared to the likes of Rabada, who I said before had, I think Nokia in particular was the one that started for me. And if you look who else, on the list, number 14, Ravi Ashwin with 13 wickets, economy rate of 7.66, good economy rate. Marcus Stoinis, 13 wickets in 17 matches, very much more of a bit part bowler, just bowled 29.4 overs. And I think actually we look at the overs that they bowled. And if you look at Rabada, he bowled 65.4 overs. Jofra Archer bowled 55.4. So it's actually 10 overs less than Rabada. So if you extrapolate that data, Rabada took 30 wickets in 17 matches. So, strike rate's 13 and Jofra Archer's strike rate was 16.7. But wickets per game is 1.5 roughly per game, whereas Jofra Archer took 14-20. A little bit again, very similar, kind of just a little bit less than 1.5. But then Jofra Archer, if he played 17 matches, obviously you can't know for sure, but he should have took, in the region of 25 wickets, 26 wickets, which is not too far away, obviously, from Kiki Sorabada. If anything, it would have been very similar kind of stats to Jasprit Bumrah, who took, well, to be fair, he played 15 matches. I mean, that's probably why Mumbai, let's be honest, why Mumbai won, wasn't it? Bumrah and Bolt were just absolutely incredible for looking now at their stats in more detail. It's just phenomenal. But I think that Jofra Archer said, I mean, like I said before, it can go both ways. That the fact that he didn't have the support, so he performed so well. He was tried and trusted at the start of the innings. He was brought back in the middle overs, 10 wickets, and he did do that. He got breakthroughs. Where Rabada was able to be supported throughout, so the pressure was always on in the opponent's innings, the batting innings. So it's and then I said on the flip side, you've got the fact that the opposition can look at it and say, you know what, block out Archer, the rest of the guys aren't so great. I'm not saying fodder necessarily, but you can very much go after them. So I just felt like the nature of the team and the way it was set up, Rabada, whether Rabada would perform so well in Rajasthan Royals team and Archer in Delhi Capitals, we'll never know. But I just feel like with Archer, off the back of what's happened to him, I think, this year, it was a real show of character to come back, play his IPL. Obviously, I'm sure he's more relaxed, a different bubble, different environment, different teammates. But I think he probably wants to show a few people what he's capable of. I mean, he showed his kind of white ball form in this tournament, but he was carrying it on really from the Australia series where he was phenomenal. And he just seems to be kind of rising to the occasion. He did it in the World Cup last year. He's obviously done it in just the recent Australia series. He's done it now in the IPL. Differing teams, obviously the England side is a fantastic team, and he performs extremely well. And even when hasn't got maybe so much support around him, he still performs superbly. And I think he's really showed it tests his character, because, like I said, this year, he's had personal instances as well, as we know, on social media, which is obviously extremely, really bad taste, and it can get a guy down. Then he obviously had the issues, taken out for the one match because he kind of broke the COVID bubble regulations that England enforced, so that wasn't great. So he's had a lot happen to this year off the pitch as well as on the pitch. To come and kind of finish the year off this way. I mean, I know he's obviously going to South Africa for the T20s, isn't it? And he's missing the ODIs. And I'm sure he'll play maybe two, maybe all three. But I think to kind of almost pretty much finish the year off on such a high, I think it's a great way for his 2020 to finish, because there's been so many detractors against Jofra Archer this year. I said in the video on Instagram, it's quite sickening. Just sit back, appreciate who we've got in front of us. Just sit back and enjoy the ride, because Jofra Archer is a wonderfully skilled bowler. I don't know how many times I've got to say that, especially at white ball level. I know maybe test form isn't as great, but I think he's averaging around 30 still. It's not like it's horrendous. He will get better with age. He only played a handful of test matches still now. He's not been utilised that much, that well, should I say, by Joe Root, in my opinion. I think he'll going to get better as well in the red ball arena. So, I'm just really happy for the guy, after what's happened. He's a very confident young man, and he showed a lot of balls by consistently, performing at this level in the IPL over the whole tournament. So, yeah, good for him. Anyway, that's it from me, guys. I don't think I'm going to say too much. I mean, we can go into stats a little bit more if you wanted to. I mean, if you look at the economy rates I mentioned before, Kiki Sorabada at 8.34, Jofra Archer 6.55. The strike rate was better for KG. Obviously, he took 10 more wickets, albeit playing 3 more matches and bowling 10 more overs. But he's still, strike rate of 13. I'm not sure even Jofra Archer played 3 more games. I don't think he would have got necessarily down from 16.7 to 13.1. Unlikely. But I think he could have improved potentially. And just, it's really good compare these two, because I think they're actually pretty much exactly the same age. I believe they're both born around April 1995. So it'll be interesting to see how the careers pan out. Obviously, Jofra Archer made his debut a little bit later. He made, obviously, when he was 24. It was 23-24 because the Ireland series was 23-24. And Kiki Sorabada made his debut much earlier, mid age 20. So there's a lot more experience in international arena. But it'll be interesting to see how their careers pan out, because they're both wonderfully talented fast bowlers, and irrespective of where you're from, I just love to watch really great fast bowling, and we are witnessing two of the best, I believe, two of the people who will go down as one of the greats in 7, 8, 9 years time. So yeah, that's it for me, I think. If you've got any comments, what's your thoughts on Jofra Archer? You think like maybe he could have maybe done slightly better? Do you feel like maybe there's elements of his game he could have improved on still? Maybe his batting tailed off a little bit towards the second half of the season, but let's be honest, he's not brought in as a batsman, he's brought in as a bowler. And his contributions down the order just really kind of solidified how talented he is as a cricketer, in my opinion. KG, any comments on him? Do you feel like maybe a little bit overrated in his performances this season? I mean, he got clapped out, didn't he, when it really mattered yesterday against his white ball captain in Quinton de Kock. When it was time to come to the party, he failed to deliver. That being said, don't forget how they got through to the final in the first place. He ripped out Sunrisers, didn't he? But I think he took 4 for 29 in that match to send Delhi through to the final. So he can be very proud of himself, in my opinion, as well. If you've got obviously a different opinion, do let me know in the comment section. Guys, if you like the content, as you always say, if you like the video, share, comment, subscribe. I would love to see some more subscribers here. I'm trying to get a bit more content nowadays, so hopefully you find it of some value and you can subscribe to me. That'd be great, and hopefully I will see you on the next video. Alright guys, cheers.